So good morning and welcome to the Economic and Industry Development Committee number 9 for 2022 on the 13th of October. We're opening at 11:20 and a councillors in attendance is Councillor Madsen, Mayor Harding, Councillor Fechner, no Councillor Kunzelman at the moment, thank you. There are no apologies, and I will just move on to the acknowledgement of country. So Ipswich City Council respectfully acknowledges the traditional owners and custodians of the land upon which we meet. We pay our respects to their elders past, present and emerging as the keepers of the traditions, cultures and stories of our proud people. It's okay. So full attendance, thank you Councillor Kunzelman. Any declarations of interest on any items of the agenda? There's no business outstanding. So moving on to item 1, which is a confirmation of the minutes from the last Economic and Industry Development Committee on the 15th of September. So I will move that. Do I have a seconder, please?
Yep, thanks, Councillor.
Thank you, Councillor Fechner. And open for discussion? No. So move to the vote. All of those in favour of adopting, and it's a unanimous. Thank you. There are no officer reports, We have item 2, which is the notice of motion for the Event Friendly Council. Did you want to move that one, Mayor?
Yep. May I move it? Thank you. I move that...
I'll second that.
Okay. Thank you.
You're right.
I'll speak to it then. The City of Ipswich has celebrated another successful weekend of CMC Rocks Queensland. Council has a great relationship with CMC Rocks since it first came to the city in 2015. And we know that the past years we have had around $11 million injected into the Ipswich economy off the back of this fantastic event and other wonderful events in our city. However, despite this long and positive relationship and the professionalism of event organisers, Council has no dedicated approach to make Ipswich an easy place to host major events. I believe Ipswich is a welcoming city with a proven record for delivering world-class events, so it's time that we tailored our approach to major events to position Ipswich as an event-friendly city. Therefore, I move the motion that A, that Council evaluate becoming an event-friendly city, B, that a report be prepared on how Council can streamline Council processes to make it easier for event organisers to operate in Ipswich, and C, that the report be presented to the Economic and Industry Development Committee no later than December 2022.
Wonderful. Did anyone want to speak to any officers in relation to this motion?
I just wanted to propose something before we get too into it. We've only got the November Economic and Industry Development Committee prior to December, and the cut-off for that is probably in like 2 or 3 weeks. So just seeking some advice if everyone thinks that that timeline's doable.
I'll seek advice from the CEO.
We were aware of the motion coming forward as a result of discussions that you've had amongst you as councillors. We would appreciate some more time, given it's a very busy time of year and timeframes are short. So we would certainly appreciate that if that's the will of the council through you, Chair. Otherwise, we would do our best in the available time in light of all the other priorities that we have. Okay. The team will have some ideas for sure, though, so I'll leave it with you.
Thank you.
January or February, would that be?
I'm just going to ask Miss Madsen to come to the lectern, if you don't mind. Thank you.
In between, I don't believe we have committee meetings in January, so...
Correct.
The first one may be the February Economic and Industry Development Committee in 2023.
Good morning, everyone. Kat Matson, Manager, Economic and Community Development.
Thanks, Miss Madsen. So we've had some discussions, preliminary discussions with General Manager Mr. Poll and General Manager Peter in relation to how like compliance and events can, I guess, come together and not be like so separate and share resources, and there's some really simple things that can be achieved. And I can see that this is a fantastic motion, and it's definitely something that will elevate our city. Other council areas are doing it really well, and we don't need to reinvent the wheel in relation to this. But I can see that this will form part of the ECDEV strategy in some content as well. So just wondering what time frame would be preferable.
Echoing the CEO's comments as well as Councillor Madson's, yes, the timelines for the November committees are very tight, and we do already have a significant matter coming to one of the November committee meetings, which will be the economic development strategy. So if we could have until February, noting of course that January there isn't a committee meeting as such, so if we could have until February to prepare the report, it would be more fulsome, and we'd be able to actually consider all of the different moving parts that contribute to what it will take for Ipswich to be a more friendly city when it comes to events.
Wonderful, thank you. Any other questions? Yep.
So just noting that this resembles very closely the food truck friendly council motion that we had a lot of fun together on. The food truck friendly one was quite an internal sort of process where we had to look within ourselves and think deeply about what we can and can't do. I think this matter really needs a bit of external consultation. So is it possible to do that external consultation with the longer time? Like there's clearly a couple of festival operators I can think of in my head that we'll need to be in conversation with about their experiences.
So to answer that question, Councillor Madsen, first of all, I want to qualify that I'm not the content expert on this particular matter. And in fact, there are a lot of content experts on this matter that will need to be consulted. In terms of preparing a report back to Council by February, I think all people who have been involved in conversations to date would be happy with a report of recommendations of what we need to look at. Can we endeavour to resolve every single issue that is required to be resolved to be more friendly by February? Possibly not, noting that there are complexities. We've learnt a lot with the food truck friendly initiative around the sources of some of the things that do get in the way. And it's not that we're not friendly, I think is probably the key issue. It's not that we're not friendly, it's just that sometimes when you bump into process, when you bump into compliance, when you bump into requirements, it can feel less friendly than what we would like. So it's not about correcting our friendliness, it's about looking at some of the processes and policies that are in place that might block it. So I'm confident, and I'm just looking at the back of the room, I'm confident in looking at our colleagues that February is fine for an initial report with then an outline of what it's going to take.
Wonderful. Any further questions? No, thank you. So just in discussion now, I think there is a lot of low-hanging fruit that we can look to making the process of actually having and holding an event in Ipswich a lot easier. So just for an example, when it comes to putting in documents on an application to have an event, you could send it through to 3 or 4 different departments, and there's no one place in the cloud for all to access basically in our organisation as it stands. So I think that the processes could be streamlined and that doesn't alleviate any compliance needs. So it doesn't mean that events would be less compliant. It would just make, I guess, the process a lot easier for people that are wanting to hold events in our city. So thank you very much for the motion, Mayor. Any further discussion? Yep.
Yes, if I could, thank you. I've been in discussion with council officers and general managers for some months about this to formulate it, and I did decide to heavily plagiarise, Deputy Mayor, your notice of motion for the food truck friendly council as well, because I thought it was a great initiative. But yeah, look forward to, and I have no problems with the deliverable being in February, just as an indicative internal process for all of us to go through. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you. Yes.
I just wanted to say that when you mentioned this at our last meeting, Mayor, it came across as a pleasant surprise because Councillor Jonik had been discussing with me some things that she was working on, and I think it's a case of great minds think alike because there's certainly a lot of opportunities in this space to improve upon. And I really think that we've got the right process to go through it. And I fully endorse you supporting my use of words. It's perfectly fine. I do recall the original motion. There was a bit of wordsmithing on the floor. But, you know, the substance is good here as well.
Thank you. No further discussion. So we'll move on to the vote now. All those in favour, just raise your hand. Wonderful. It's unanimous and carried. Thank you. So we've come to the end of the committee at 11:31. We will move into the next committee at 11:41 and we'll get it all closed up. Thank you.